Yeah, man. Long overdue.
For real. I was thinking we can talk about Can I Buster for talking about all these long awaited albums finally.
Like, down.
But for real though, so I see your homeboy from Legions is joining us from the Mad Villain.
Yo,
Is it-
Legions. Yo, Legion's got a MF Doom mask, and I know he was quoting like he knows like all the Doom quotables and stuff. So I'm like, yo, like let's get Guillermo and Reg on there because I know he would be mad if I didn't tell him about that joint,
Oh yeah,
you
man.
know. And the only other like I've seen like people discuss his albums, but it'd be like 7 minutes long. I'm like, how the hell are y'all discussing a 20 something track album for 7 minutes?
Exactly. Like the review
You
I
know what I
did
mean?
for Operation Doomsday was like 30 minutes at least.
Right. And I seen those three white cats behind this suit. They
I
did
heard
they
about
did
this
a
too.
I don't like them because they don't know what they talking about. They did an album review on it like 3 years ago, but the shit was bad and they didn't know they were trying to quote shit from certain songs that they didn't understand why he was. I'm like, yo, we got to do a better. We will definitely do a better because Guillermo alone knows like all his bars and shit. I'm like, yo, I listen to Doom, but he's like a Doom fiend, and he has a Doom mask that he wears on his Knicks podcast.
Yeah. And Mad Villainy, that was actually the first Doom album I actually heard too.
Oh, true,
Um,
true,
Shout out to my homeboy Josh
mm,
Okamo. Shout out to you for putting me on Doom.
right.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Cause I
Everybody's posting
was,
about it, and it's crazy.
yeah, cause I was thinking about doing a top 10 MF Doom beats
Yeah,
and
that'll
stuff.
be
I was thinking about that.
that'll be fun.
Shit. What else? But yeah, that. Let me tell you, when Sam sent me that link on Facebook,
Mhm.
tagged me, I literally almost lost control of my car because I was just like, "What? Like,
Crazy.
this is MF Doom. He's pretty much like Prince level of hip hop and
Mhm.
shit like that. Like how mysterious he was,
Yeah,
and the fact he died on Halloween, my nigga. Like
yeah, that's crazy.
that just adds on to. This might sound kind of weird, but that just adds on to his legend.
Hmm.
I
I
mean,
still want to know what he died from, though. Unknown causes. If it's not COVID, what is it? Did he kill himself?
because I didn't know his son died too. So,
Yeah, I didn't know.
but I don't even want to think about that. To be real with
Yeah,
you, I really don't want to think. I just want to think about the legacy of the music.
yeah. Losing too many legends, man.
Did they reveal how Ecstasy or Tiny Lester died?
Nah, I didn't hear nothing about them either.
Wait, they didn't reveal how Ecstasy died. Hold on.
I did. I can see that. I'm assuming everybody's dropping dead from COVID. So if it's not that, I don't know what it is.
Damn, 2020 is just
Tiny, this thing died from COVID.
okay. Ecstasy. Oh, this is what I hate about when a motherfucker dies. They talk about the whole fucking career and shit like that. They don't reveal how the motherfucker died and shit.
Right. They just now put Purple Rain on HBO Max.
Yeah, they
Wow.
announced that they were gonna do that weeks ago.
Wow.
Yeah, they don't reveal how Ecstasy died either. Rap legends are dying. What the fuck?
That's crazy.
Did they even realize Shabba-Doo died?
Nope. They didn't say either with him.
Well, what the? But I'm not
I
trying to
think
be
all this
funny.
gonna come out in the weeks to come, yo. Like,
I mean, I understand the family privacy, but something don't sit right with me. All these legends are dying out of nowhere,
Right.
and always saying how they died and shit. Like that sounds kind of iffy.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Shit.
Hmm.
Okay, so have you ever heard the Desire album by Phil Monch? By the way,
Which one?
his second album.
Yes, I didn't hear it though. But you know what? When I got Xbox 360, I think it was 07, 08. The Madden for that year, that was the theme song, was the Desire song.
Yeah,
Yeah, the one
yeah,
with young on the cover.
yeah. I know that Desire album. That was like a big album back in like '07 and
I gotta
shit.
hear that joint. I remember when that came out too.
I saw a lot of like advertisements for that
Yep,
album.
yep.
And mind you,
Mhm.
that was not really the first. Believe it or not, the first time I really heard Pharoahe Monch was the Stress the Extinction of Ginger
Right.
album.
Same.
That was actually the first review I done for the channel.
Oh shit.
Oh yeah. So
Uh,
when niggas tell me that I don't know shit about organized confusion, Film Monch, I'm just like,
right.
okay. But you know what kind of pissing me off about organized confusion's discography on streaming? They used to have the first two albums on Spotify and
Right.
Annihilation. Now they just have the Equinox album, and they just have a few songs from soundtrack placements. And I'm just like,
Hmm.
and then at the time, the Equinox album was like the rarest album in the discography.
Hmm. Right.
Now and that's the only album on
That's the only.
Spotify. And I love Equinox. Don't get me wrong, but
Mhm.
to me, see, their discography is perfect. But to me, I always when he go to Stress, because
Right.
Stress is that album.
I agree.
The first album, the self-title was cool. I liked that one, but the mixing was what kind of threw me off. I felt like it was a little light on bass a little bit,
Right.
which I'm gonna talk more about that because I'm gonna go on about 5 more minutes and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, man. Because niggas be sleeping on Prince Poe too as a
Oh yeah.
lyricist.
For sure.
Like, no, he's not Phil Monch level. No, I'll admit that. But the nigga can hold his own, especially on the Godsend song.
Oh yeah. I agree.
Hell, the Equinox he held his own on the Equinox too.
Right.
Because I felt like Stress that was more Pharaoh's triumph.
Hmm.
Equinox or Prince Poe's triumph.
Facts.
Speaking of OC, I definitely love the Joel's review we did.
Yes, that was great.
Both the word life and Joel. That's gonna go down in history.
Oh yeah. For sure.
Yeah, man.
Great albums.
Yeah, man. I can't wait to talk about Luther Vandross's discography breakdown. That's gonna be good.
Yes.
Um, I really cannot wait to talk about Anita Baker's discography.
I've been in a Anita Baker mood too.
Ooh, that's
You know what I
perfect.
mean? It's weird. I don't know. It's like her songs are calling me now. So
Cause like what it is just like the fucking aura that you, me, and Ashley we just have that fucking aura and shit like that.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like all our ideas bounce off one another.
right. And I just be like, yo, I want to play some Anita Baker now.
Yeah, I'm grateful I got all of her albums because
Mhm.
it was driving me crazy going to Spotify and they only have like Sweet Love and Give Me
Right,
Everything I Got, which I love those songs, but give me something from the Rhythm of Love album, man. Give me
right,
something from
right.
Montress.
Hmm. The Rapture album.
Oh, that was the first album I actually heard from Anita.
Right,
To be
same.
honest, that was the best R&B album in '86. Oh, I even like that over Control.
Right. Control was great.
Yeah, Control. That's the second best R&B album that year.
Right.
To me, Rapture.
Yeah, Rapture.
It was Rapture, Control, Promise,
Hmm.
classic.
Yeah.
Um, and a lot of people think that's their first album, but I never heard the Songstress album.
Right.
Never heard that one. Have you?
Got it. Nah, I gotta hear that one. I gotta hear that.
Because without Anita, we wouldn't have like Mary J. Blige.
Right.
We wouldn't have fucking Tony Braxton.
Yep.
Like she
Right.
was the the jazzy soul diva in a way.
The jazzy older woman.
Right,
She just had that older woman look to her.
right. And you
Yeah.
know, if we're gonna talk about Anita, we gotta definitely talk about Phyllis Hyman too.
Yeah. True. Right.
Yes, because she was the OG when it came to that reign.
Definitely. Definitely.
It's a shame 'cause I only got one of her albums too.
Yeah. People sleep on these artists, yo. You know what I mean? And it's a shame because it's like when they dead, then they want to praise them. But let's praise
Exactly,
them now while he's still here. You know?
exactly. Because I was thinking about the next monthly poll I'm gonna
Mm,
drop tonight. I was thinking about doing actually three polls actually. One for the Minneapolis sound,
right.
one for like some. I want to do something different with like rock music, like grunge maybe,
Right.
almost
True.
alternative grunge, whatever.
No doubt.
Then I might do like female R&B again, but this time I'm gonna do unsung ones like Angela Winbush,
Right.
Phyllis Hyman. Hell, I'll even throw in Dionne Warwick too. Fuck it.
That's,
Cause I love Whitney, I love Aretha, I like Beyonce, but there were other females that was doing their
yeah.
thing too. Like,
That they got slept on. You know?
cause I was reading a lot of this thing on Prince.org about Whitney Houston about how a lot of female R&B artists was like caught up in her like under her wing, like
Yeah.
Mickey Howard,
Randy.
things of that nature. And then fast forward to now, I was reading the same thing about Beyonce
Right.
in the 2000s, like Blue Control
Right.
and Emery.
Right.
They're all controversial because they mentioned Beyonce or some shit.
Right.
You know how in recent times, like when the female artists allegedly talks about Beyonce, they kind of get sidelined and shit.
Hey Marie, what she say about Beyonce?
Well, one of her songs, like that, it's just one thing. That
Hmm.
song,
Hmm.
her producer, I think his name was like Rich Hudson.
Yeah.
That was like her main guy or go to guy.
Mm.
When he started working with Beyonce, and a lot of people try to say like, oh, Beyonce stole A. Marie's sound and stuff like that for Dangerously in Love and B-Day.
Right.
And it kind of got a bad light on A. Marie, and A. Marie didn't really do shit. You know how the media is.
Right. Right. That's wild.
But Matthew Knowles had a lot to do with
Of
that.
course. Of course.
Matthew Knowles, man, he had a lot to
Matthew
do
was
with
calling
that.
the shots then, so
Right. Like he screwed a lot of people just to get Beyonce.
I always felt like A. Marie was more beautiful than talented. Like I didn't feel like music was her thing. I think modeling would have been her thing. But she was gorgeous. But I wasn't a real like other than the hit singles. I didn't buy none of her albums. I wasn't really a big fan of hers.
Me neither.
And I know she did some acting too.
To be honest, I like that one song she did with the Ultra Magnetic MC sample.
Uh-huh.
That was pretty much the only song I can really
What
go
song is
to.
that?
Let me hold on. Let me look it up because, damn, you know me, I'm not a big fan
Right.
of. I didn't even care for the Nana song that she did.
Yeah, I didn't. It was okay. I wasn't a big fan of that song, and people hyped that up. You know, Nas probably would have done better with her than Khalees. You know what I'm saying? But
You know what?
who knew Khalees was crazy? You know what I'm saying?
Well, if you make a song called "I Hate You So Much" right now, you know you're
Mhm.
gonna go crazy.
Exactly. Exactly. We saw the signs on the wall.
Ah,
Yeah, and that was a big hit. And I love that album. That was a big hit. It was
yeah.
that's her.
The song was called "Why Are You."
I don't know that one. Is that from her first album?
That's from her recent album in 2009.
Oh wow, I missed that.
Yeah, I remember when the video always used to play in 106 and Part Two.
Yeah.
But speaking of Khalid, Loki,
Mhm.
I feel like Khalid gets mad slept on.
She does.
If you look at a lot of these black black stars like her and Kalani, they
Mhm.
borrowed a lot from
Yeah.
Khalid.
Oh yeah, I agree.
And I'm not the biggest expert on Khalid's music, but
Mhm.
Neptune's good or wrong. That's all I'm gonna
Yeah,
say. But I'm ready to start whenever you are.
yeah, let's go.
What's up, you two? This is one of the reviews I bet y'all wish y'all were live at, but unfortunately not. It's your boy Reg in the building. Got my homeboy Try with me.
Bro,
First and foremost, Happy New Year. It's the first video of 2021.
New Year.
Um, Before I start, I gotta do what I gotta do. Rest in peace to MF Doom. Man, this one shocked the fuck out of me. First of all, shout out to my homeboy Sam for telling me I was driving and I saw the headlines and stuff like that. I was like, oh, Sam's talking to some shit. I was like, oh, maybe it's just some
Yeah,
music stuff that I'm interested in. I read MF Doom died. I was like, whoa, whoa. So I'm just gonna give you like a little synopsis about who he is. He's an MC. He's an MC. Of course, born in London. He got to start like he moved to like Long Island and stuff like that. He got to start, forming the group KMD with his younger brother DJ Savrock and another MC named Roden. But Roden was later replaced by this cat named Onyx and Birdstone. And third base, he put them on. They made their first debut on Wax on the Gas Face song off the classic Cactus album, which I got to talk about that album. We got to discuss third base.
yes, definitely, definitely.
Um, yeah, man. And so they dropped their first album, Mr. Hood, which, believe it or not, I have not heard that album. I have to actually peep that album.
Yeah,
And so when they were about to release the Black Bastards album, which was supposed to have been their second album, Rock died. I want to say he died like in a car crash. A car crash.
I think it was. Yeah, I heard stories that he was on a bike and the car hit him. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so MF Doom, he was going through a lot because his label Elektra Records, you gotta love Elektra. Um, they shelved the Black Bastards album because the album cover features like some guy getting noosed, like Hangman or whatever. And MF Doom went homeless for a while, and he was just mad depressed. So like when you like listen to or watch all these superheroes and stuff like that, they have like a backstory.
Right.
So he pretty much formed the whole MF Doom, wearing the mask and stuff like that, and started freestyling, going to open mics and stuff like that. He hooked up with Grimm, dropping in my opinion, the legendary classic Operation Doomsday. I've heard a lot of people praise that album. There's even people that went as far to say that's the underground Illmatic.
Yep.
Like impact wise, I can understand it, but just like Illmatic, it kind of took years for. Well, Illmatic, it didn't really take years. Like Operation Doomsday acclaim grew over the years. Let me just say
Yeah.
that.
Yep.
But see, him and Grimm, they got into it because Grimm felt like Doom didn't give him proper credit over like the album and like the samples because Grimm pretty much picked the samples, the direction of the album and stuff like that. So Doom, he ended up doing like a hella album, like the Special Earths series, Take Me to Your Leader. But his real breakthrough came with the Mad Villainy album with Mad Lib. Shout out to Mad Lib, by the way, which a lot of people say that's his best album. To me, I love Mad Villainy. I love the album, but I'm more for Doomsday fan.
Same. Same.
That's just my opinion. Like I grew up on Doomsday. Like I could probably recite the whole Red and Gold song. Like I remember when last past September when like, come on, man,
Yep.
damn. But yeah, man, MF Doom is just definitely one of the best known icons in hip hop. But he has some controversy because he used to do the impersonators in his concerts, which I gotta give him flack about because I hate saving up my money and then the cats don't even be there and stuff like that. But other than that, he's definitely a legend. The crazy thing about this is he died on Halloween,
Yeah.
but it was not revealed until like now 2 days ago and stuff like that. So that's the crazy thing. So rest in peace to MF Doom. I might do like a top 10 MF Doom beats one day on my channel, so stay tuned on that. With that being said, um, we're going to talk about the long-awaited Pharoahe Monch, Eternal Affairs. This was released in 1999 on Rockets Records. This is one of the most sought after hip hop albums to date. Like, and they actually re-released this album on streaming services too. Finally, because to celebrate the 20th anniversary, and it's been said that there was a vinyl reissue coming out. I don't. I'm gonna double check if that's been released yet. But this was released in 1999. It came out with two singles, Simon Says and the Right Here remix. Producers include Renee John Sandy the second, Phil Monch, both of them, and Lee Stone were executive producers. DJ Scratch, Alchemist, and Diamond Deep. Guest appearances you have Cannabis, MLP, Busta Rhymes, Apani B. Fly, Prince Poe, Common, Tyler Kweli, Lady Luck, Method Man, Redman, Shabam Shadiq, and that's it. So, if you guys stuck with me in the early days, y'all know that I've talked about Organized Confusion. Like, that was the first review I've done years ago and stuff like that. So, I'm going to ask you, Try, how did you get into film launch?
The very first album, Stress, when Stress came out, and I remember like just listening to like Stretch and Bobbito in the '90s, and they would play like they dropped the Extra P remix. They played that a lot, and that was like one of my favorite remixes um of that time, and just over the years, I never heard the album when the Stress album when it came out back then. I always used to see the album ads and read the album reviews from like the source and all that, but I never really like latched onto them at that point. But I knew like just reading like they used to always like quote his bars on Pharoahe Monch in the Source magazine, and I used to like I remember they quoted I think it was Straight Bullet from the first album, and
Yeah.
um it was real like visionary, and he was real like dope with the bars, and just following them over the years with Prince Poe, and the stuff they done with OC, and with some when the stuff they did with like Ruckus, the Ruckus artists, and he was always like like a underrated lyricist. And then like when he went solo and this album came out, and I remember this was like a big thing, and Simon Says came out, and that blew up, and you know he definitely made carved like his own name as a solo artist, and just like the amount of work he's done over the years with like Boot Camp Click and with Busta Rhymes and them is definitely I think people don't mention him his name enough when it comes to like um lyricism and creativity. A lot of his albums, like each one is like different from the last one, and he's just a dope. He's a dope. Pharoah's a dope lyricist, and um the group itself is underrated, and that's basically like how I like started like with them, and but I definitely need to go back and listen to like a lot of his the solo the War album. I need to listen to and Desire. You know what I'm saying? But definitely is an underrated lyricist, and I love lyrics, and to hear like different MCs that can like paint a vivid picture of what they saying. Like how like Nas did it in Cannabis, and artists like that. So I think he's definitely slept on lyrically.
Yeah, man. Very well said, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. To me, my introduction to Pharoahe Monch was, of course, like the Simon Says joint, but I didn't really become a fan of his style until I heard the Stress the Extinction Agenda album, which there was this one song called Bring It On,
Mm-hmm.
which, oh my God, that's probably my favorite track off the Stress album, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just the way I never heard anyone rap like that before.
Right.
Like it had like a very apocalyptic tone towards his music. Like it was like a larger than life
Right.
ordeal and stuff like that. Like someone shooting fireworks outside or whatever. But
Yeah, they did that over here too.
shit. Anyway, um, it was like a larger than life tone of rapping and stuff like that. So
Right.
I always loved. To me, his solo discography has always been solid, and
Yeah.
you can say that to a lot of like people who leave their groups or if the group broke up.
Right.
But I've always loved his discography and Organized Confusion more, if
Yeah.
that makes sense and stuff like that. But the thing about his discography solo wise, people sometimes like love to focus on Eternal Affairs, which yep, that's his best solo album. But to me, Desire is not that far behind.
I gotta hear that.
The PTSD album, which I would recommend you checking that album out too.
I might hear that one too.
That has some heat on it too. So he always stayed relevant. He always stayed to himself and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of an honor to actually review this album. I do
Right.
want to apologize to everybody for pushing this album back and back and back because I actually planned on reviewing this album as far back as 2015,
Mm-hmm.
but I was like, mm, I can always come back to it, you know.
Right.
Then 6 years later, now I finally came back to it. But
Right.
I'm talking about who Pharoahe Monch is. Um, Pharoahe Monch is an MC from I want to say South Jamaica, Queens. Um, he got, of course, y'all should know he got a start. With the group Organized Confusion, which involved his best friend, Prince Poetry, who was like commonly known as Prince Poe. They dropped their first album, the self-titled album and stuff like that, '91, which that was dropped on like I want to say I was on Hollywood Basic, which y'all don't know about Hollywood Basic. That's actually the Disney record label,
Oh shit.
stuff like that. Yeah, Disney had a record label. I know Insane Clown Posse, excuse me, had work under that label too. So, and the thing about Organized Confusion, which a lot of people talked about, was they didn't really get promoted too well in comparison to a lot of groups because the critics loved their music, but commercially they weren't really as like high as maybe like Tribe and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And so while they took 3 years off, Phil Monch's father died and stuff like that, and that played a huge part in the Stress the Extinction Agenda album, which that album pretty much, in my opinion, their best album, one of the greatest hip hop albums in history. Um, that was like very jazzy, like a lot of bangers, like the Stress song, Bring It On, Why, Less Organized, which was also on the Low Down Dirty Shame soundtrack. Very dope movie. Um, then again, another 3 years later, they dropped the Equinox album, which, in my opinion, Equinox, that was another good album. That was another good album that kind of gets slept on a lot. Ironically, that's their only album on streaming, like on Spotify, which I kind of find weird though because for years that's like been Well, all the albums are out of print, but for years
Right,
that album has been more rarer than the previous two,
right.
and that album was for a long time was never on streaming services. But now they finally put that album on streaming services, and they took the other two out, which I'm just grateful I got the physical copies of those. So in '97, Organized Confusion broke up. They went their separate ways because the label. They went to Priority Records for the Equinox album and stuff like that, and pretty pretty much, the critics they felt like the concept of the Equinox was a bit too much and stuff like that, and which I might have to talk about the Equinox album one day because that's a complicated album to talk about. I like it, but yeah, man. But then since they weren't really promoted, well, they broke up, you know, and so Pharoahe Monch, he signed with Ruckus Records, which Ruckus Records, that was like the underground label at that time. Most Def was on it. You had Company Flow. You had like the High and Mighty was on it too.
Mm, yes.
In my opinion, Ruckus is like one of my all-time favorite hip hop record labels, especially
Same.
at that time in hip hop
Hmm.
and stuff like that. So that's when he was working on this album. Um, very dope album cover.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of DMX's "Flesh of My Flesh, Blood of My Blood" a little bit
Right.
and stuff like that. You have like the hell fire. Kind of reminds me of like he's in hell and stuff like that.
He got the fire coming out of his hands,
Yeah,
holding the fire.
and so I used to love this about CDs, how they'll give you like a rundown of what's coming up.
Yeah.
Um, they have like Most Def Black on Both Sides, which Yashina already came out. They have Coogee Rap to be announced, which that's like the Giacana story. Which that album, I like the album, but to me the production was what kind of threw me out. Which I'm gonna save that for another day. They got Big L, which I'm assuming that's the big picture. Dope album. Shabam Shahid, Shadiq, excuse me, Scandalous. Which I don't think that came out. Um, Smut Peddlers, I don't know who these are.
They real underground. Swap peddlers.
Oh, you know who them?
Yeah. They. I forgot who's actually in the group, but I used to hear like when college radio used to play like a lot of that underground stuff. So,
No, okay. Talib and High Tech's Reflection Eternal album, which, in my opinion, that's the only Reflection Eternal album y'all should get. The second album,
yeah, I didn't like it.
trash, trash.
Hmm.
That's an insult. The second album was just an insult right there. The Beat Miners, which I want to say was the Brace for Impact
Yeah,
album.
I got that one. Yeah, Brace for Impact.
Yeah, it's been years since I peeped that
Yeah,
album. So.
that was a dope album.
Lyricist Lounge Volume 2, which I need to get my hands on that one. And Jails, Hospitals, and Hip Hop Soundtrack. I've never heard of that. Um, yeah, man, it's Phil Monch and shit. Crazy story about when I got this album. I actually got this album for $5 on Amazon, believe it or
Oh,
not.
sure.
Yeah, because I was feeling lucky. I was actually feeling kind of lucky and shit. So I was like, you know what? Let me see how much it is. 'Cause at first it was like 17, then it went down to 5. I was like, oh fuck yes.
Yeah,
So yeah, this was a
that's a
steal.
steal.
But yeah, man. So much Eternal Affairs. All right, so this album has about. Hold on. This album has 15 tracks, so let's get started. Track number one is the intro, which the intro is pretty much a song to itself. It's like a braggadocio song. I love the beat. Da 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 da. I love that beat. Like those horns are crazy.
Definitely.
Um, Film Munch was definitely. on his A game with that one. Yeah, definitely a very solid joint. Nice way to start off the album.
Yeah, he was basically he had the horns on it and the hi hats was dope. Nice beat, bass line. And Pharoahe saying, "I have a dream one day we will get to the promised land, and the president will be me. The government will be Shabam, Mos, and Kweli. That's it. All whackness is now banned." And I thought it was a good intro, something different to start off the album, and it was dope.
Yeah, very dope track. Like if the intro is that good, then you know the album's
Right.
gonna be fire.
Hmm.
So track number two is called Behind Closed Doors. Again, another very solid track. This track right here was produced by Phil Monch. The intro was produced by DJ Scratch, by the way.
Oh shit.
Classics track Behind Closed Doors. I love the line when he says, "How I made it, you celebrated over my calibrated raps that validated my ghetto credibility. Still, I be packing agilities unseen. For real, a my killing abilities, unclean facilities like." Just the
Right.
wordplay alone is legendary.
Yeah.
So very solid.
Definitely dope song. And that's sinister pianos on here, and the beat was dope. And Pharoahe was saying, "I'm like a bat with blood coming out the wings. You never in your wildest dreams shit on a nigga who reside in the borough of Queens." Dope. Chorus is dope. Behind closed doors, we go to war. All out. Heroes turn bitch and have to crawl out. Like that chorus. Definitely a solid track.
Yeah, very solid track indeed. Track number three, Queens. Love this song. For one, nice usage of the Maxwell "Till the Cops Come Knocking" sample. Very unique sample. And when I first heard the Maxwell album, I was like, "Oh shit,
That's,
yeah, man."
that's
Definitely.
still my favorite Maxwell album.
Believe it or not, I'm more of an Embryo person. Believe it or
Embry, I
not.
love Embry too. That was dope. Definitely.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, getting Sade vibes on that second album.
oh yeah, his first two albums are my favorites. Like,
So,
I like Now. Now is cool, but he kind of played it safe with that album.
yeah,
But yeah, Queens. It tells a story about this guy named Donovan who pretty much, he basically just fell into the drug game and stuff like that. But um, it never has a happy ending and stuff like that. So
right,
Queens is pretty much a sad song and
right.
stuff like that. The rise and fall of like a stick up kid, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but like the stick, I love the chorus. Like there's a place I know where the bitches go, where they
Mm-hmm.
rob your dough and chill on the low in Southside, Queens. Like definitely a very, very, very dope track. Pharaoh was just definitely emotional, and you can just feel his emotion on this one. So yeah, one of my all time favorite storytelling tracks, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely a dope storytelling track. And he talks about the basketball player in the hood, Donovan, and he has all this popularity, and he gets gunned down. I think he got gunned down because of jealousy and stuff.
Yeah,
And um, definitely a great storytelling track. I like the chorus. Pharoahe was saying, "I know the devil lurks outside, man, it's cold, but I don't want to get paid slow and grow old." And it had a dope beat, real melodic sound to it, like scratching. Definitely a solid cut on here.
yeah, very, very solid joint indeed, man. Very solid joint. Which brings us into the next track. Um, Rape, very controversial track, and believe it or not, it's actually my favorite track off the album.
Yeah.
The way I describe it is more like a darker, twisted version of Common's "I Used to Love Her."
Yeah.
Common's loving hip hop, Phil Monch pretty much wants to rape it and stuff like that, repeatedly. And the I'm s- the way he wrote this song would never be made today. So, and he was interviewed about this song years ago, and he said, and I quote, that he wanted to embody this character who is maniacal about music to the point where he's going to have photographs of it all over the house. Like, like some real crazy shit he was saying. Like just the line when he says, "I snatch the kick the snares, and sundermine the bass line. Never waste time. I gave the verse rabies. Come on the chorus, so the hook to swallow my babies." Like Jesus Christ. And then when he's like, "Ain't fucking him right, ain't fucking him right, ain't fucking him like me." Like, oh, that's a very tough song right there. Very controversial song. Legendary.
Definitely. I think like with I used to love her. Like I think like Common was in love with her, and he saw like how she was going astray from who she really was. Talking about hip hop, and this with this song, it was like Pharoahe was like, I'm not in love with her. I want to rape her. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Just that whole. It's even weird to say that you want to rape hip hop, and but I think like I love to play the tongue in cheek humor and the play on words he did regarding the track, and um the beat was it had nice beat. Got like some belts on the track. The bass line was dope, and it really highlighted his lyricism, and that's the type of artist he is. He can like make a track like that, and be so vivid, and really play with the words, and do a concept song. It's like a concept song, and I love the niggas. Like one of my favorites on this album. Definitely a great track.
Yeah, very good track indeed and stuff like that. Just his wordplay alone in this track was
Yeah.
something that doesn't even get tired. His wordplay is just in general is just amazing.
Hmm. Yeah.
Alright, track number five is Simon Says. Pretty much the track that got this album out of print, to be real with you. This is a nice club banger and stuff like that. This song has been played everywhere, like commercials, sporting events. It's a hip hop classic, man. Like da 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 da, get the fuck out, da 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 da. Like everyone knows that fucking track. Legendary.
That's the Godzilla theme song from the old Godzilla films.
Yep.
And, you know what I mean? And I grew up watching those cheesy Godzilla films from
Mm.
and those were classic in itself. Not like the Godzilla films now, but back then they were great. And he sampled that, and everybody know that song. It's like that song was played in like commercials and movies, and that's probably like his well known song to like the casual fan. Like they know that Pharoahe Monch song because it's been played everywhere. You know,
Right.
and it's like a real infectious type of beat in the chorus. Get the fuck up. Simon says, "Get the fuck up. Throw your hands in the sky." I love that, and um, he's saying y'all know the name Pharoahe fucking Monch, and the damn thing changed. You all up in the range and shit, and deviated straight from the original plan. You deviated. Fire joint. Love that. And the remix, we're gonna talk about the remix too, because the remix is like the last song on here.
Yeah.
That was just as dope. So yeah, great track.
Yeah. Very good track indeed, man. That's what Simon Says. Track number six, official. Very, very, very dope joint. With this track, he's pretty much just rhyming, but he's mentioning all of these athletes' names and stuff. Kind of reminds me of Jizza's labels track and
Yeah,
stuff like that. So yeah, so that's Pharaoh Monch with official.
that's and like this is like another track where he displayed his lyricism and the wordplay and mentioning the different great athletes. Like Allen Iverson. I grew up watching him. In the '90s when he got drafted by the Sixers, and he did his thing. Still, to me, one of my favorite point guards ever. Top five in my opinion. And when he says, not Allen Iverson, forget crossing over to shake man. Similar to Troy, I bring the pain that's in the eight. Troy Aikman, great Dallas Cowboys quarterback. That's the last time they won a Super Bowl with Aikman. Um, Break men off, take men out, make men want to slander. Prime time, my rhyme defense beyond Deion Sanders. Another great Cowboys legend, played cornerback for them and with the Niners, and Deion played both sports with baseball and football, and a great athlete, and he backed it up too. Then he says, I walked the earth with my rod in this strict land. Promise. People thought I was Thomas Hearns, the way I hit man. No referencing Rod Strickland, a great Knicks point guard from the '80s, and Tommy Hearns, the great boxer, middleweight boxer from the '80s as well. I grew up watching a lot of his fights against Sugar Ray Leonard and Marvin Hagler. So I like the fact that he mentioned those great athletes within this song. That not too many MCs could do that, but definitely Pharoahe could pull that off.
That's what's up, bro. Yeah, I definitely love the way he flipped a lot of the like athletes' names like accordingly and shit like
Mhm.
that. You know what I'm saying? And he
Right,
still made that shit sound so unique and right. So
right.
definitely very dope joint. Um, Track number 7, Hell, featuring Cannabis. Um, Another very solid joint. That features Cannabis. Cannabis really did his thing on this one and stuff like that. Definitely love the beat to this track. Definitely like a very cinematic feel. Yeah, what more can I say?
Yeah, Cannabis definitely another great lyricist, like I mentioned earlier. Great collab with him and Pharoahe, and um, we definitely got to discuss more Cannabis stuff, right? Even though I don't like a lot of his albums, but I always feel like he's a great lyricist though. And yeah, he did his thing, and Pharoahe, and like when the track starts off, um it's like Pharoahe was like dialing up on AOL back when we had America Online with this the slow ass. If you didn't have DSL, you had the slow ass dial up connection, and I
Yeah,
definitely did that, and that was thought that was funny. But definitely a dope song.
sure.
Yeah.
So after Hell, we are going to go into No Mercy featuring MLP. Um, Crazy story about this track. Originally, this beat was originally for Prodigy.
Oh shit.
Yeah, this beat
But
was
his album?
yeah, I want to say HNIC.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because this is during the time when Alchemist and Prodigy first started working with one another. But Pharaoh Monch, he actually came to our Alchemist's apartment or place or whatever, and he pretty much said that he wanted that beat and stuff like that. So yeah, and it kind of does have an HNIC feel a
Yeah,
little bit
it do.
for real. So um, I feel like Pharaoh and MOP are definitely a match made in heaven right there. Definitely a very dope joint. Just fucking Lil Fame and Billy, man. I feel like Billy had the best verse. Like with that, when I catch you on the creep, I'll lift the ground right up from under your feet. That's worth to lie. Be a man and prepare to die. Like Jesus Christ. Um, very solid joint.
Yeah, it does have like a HNIC hell on earth type of feel to it. Real like haunting melody, and I like the beat, and even like the melody. It sounds like a '70s Charlie's Angels theme, but played backwards. That's what
Right.
like the feel I got from it. Um and I like the chorus. Show no mercy for the love of this shit here. Niggas is bloodthirsty. Fame killed it. I thought Fame had one of the best verses. He said, "Little Fame, bring it live, yo. That's what I strive for. I'ma settle this before you get to call 5-0. You want to see me for fine blue? Nigga, put the phone down before I dump 2 times 4. What you
Jeez.
going? What you want? What you want to cry for? You know that hammer. That my hammer is heavy, and it got kicked like taekwondo. Now you go and die slow. I'ma show you how to stretch a motherfucker if you want to watch Tybo. So I thought he had some dope lines on that. Love Little Friends verse and Zini definitely a highlight on this album.
Yeah, excuse me, very strong highlight on this album, stuff like that. Which leads us to the next track right here. Um, this track was pretty solid. It wasn't really one of my favorite tracks overall, but I feel like it was pretty solid
Right,
for the most part.
right,
Um, I definitely felt like Pharaoh definitely did his thing with the line where he says, "The master flipping convertible flows irreversible, unobtainable to the brain is unexplainable. What the verse will do." Like I love the way he was framing that line and
yeah.
shit. So, very very solid, dope joint.
This joint sounded like a Buster joint. This joint could have been on ELE.
Yeah, I
I'm
was
like,
thinking.
once I heard the beat, I'm like, yeah, I know that's DJ Scratch because it just has that Buster feel to it, you know. And
Right.
I definitely like the beat, and the hi hats was dope. And Pharoahe was saying like, my man Benny Mac showed me the rap game, told me to never told me to never act sane on the record, the rap lane. I thought that was like a dope joint. So I definitely had like those Buster vibes from in this track.
Yeah, man. Very well said, man. Definitely very well said. Um, which leads us into the next track, which I want to say is the next shit. Which the next shit features ironically Busta Rhymes. Love this joint right here. Pretty much just Pharaoh and Busta just going neck to neck. With braggadocio rhymes, stuff like that, lyricism. Yeah, man, very, very, very solid joint. Pharaoh Monch made the beat. I love the line where he says, "Condition yourself to be knocked out the commission. Watch out, cause this is a new world transmission. Permission to shine now. Our time to glisten." Like I just love those fucking lines. Very very dope. Cause this one both Pharaoh and Buster was at their primes and shit. So highly recommended.
Yeah, Buster was in his bag on this. Definitely always steals the show on the track, and I like the beat. It had like a real bouncy, quirky melody, the type of beat that Buster would normally be on. And I like the bass line and Buster saying, "Back when I was scrambling in front of the deli, live on the celly, we was in the street whipping on Shiny Pirelli. Now that we credible, I have a quiet and busy schedule. Collect the Federals being put on a pedestal. This vintage Buster on that, definitely a solid collab. And I always wondered why, like, with all of the Busta's solo albums, like you never got a track with him or Pharoahe on his albums.
Yeah, that's very interesting and shit.
Yeah,
Shit. So that is the next shit. Track number 11, The Ass, featuring Amani B. Fly.
yeah.
This is really
Apani,
one. You said what?
Apani B Fly.
Amani B. Okay, appreciate it.
Yeah,
This is pretty much one of Diamond D's strangest beats on this fucking project and stuff. So um when it comes to fucking the song itself, he's pretty much just talking about, a girl with the fat ass and stuff like that. Kind of like his version of Miss Fat Booty.
right. I was just thinking that the same
Yeah.
label. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, but Most Def did it better though.
Oh yeah, most
That's a classic song right by Most Def.
yeah, most did his thing on that Miss Fat Booty track and shit
Yeah,
like that. So yeah, very, very solid joint.
yeah. This was cool. It didn't sound like a Diamond D beat to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm surprised that he did it, but it was cool. I like the lines. Pharoahe said, "My dick rules everything around me. Dream get the ass without spending the cash." So that's like the way he flipped it was like the cream, cash rules everything around me. Cream get the money. So I like that line, and it was cool. It's not one of my favorites, but it was okay. It's not bad at all.
Yeah, definitely very, very, very solid joint right there. Um, Track number 12, The Light, classic song right there. I never knew Diamond D produced this joint until I looked it up.
Mm,
This is like I said, another traditional hip hop love song and stuff like that. The beat definitely has like a neo soul vibe
yeah.
to it, which I fucking love.
Mm,
Um, Pluto on the definitely this album, The Light, definitely, was one of like his most iconic songs in my opinion. So yeah, very, very, very dope album.
Is there a video for this?
I want to say there is.
Okay, I don't remember. I used to hear this song all the time. I don't remember seeing a video for it.
Yeah.
But the way that that Pharoahe sang the chorus, like I could picture John Legend singing that chorus. Just the way that he flipped it, and I'm like, I could picture John Legend's cadence over the chorus, And I know you will see the light, baby, once you
Mhm.
understand what you mean to me. Like I could, for some reason, I could hear John Legend on that. 'Cause
Right.
I think John Legend's voice is soulful and it would sound perfect on this beat because it has like that neo soul R&B feel to it already. And yeah, like it was a really dope beat by Diamond, real melodic, nice guitar strings and bass line, and Pharoah saying no cock blocking, please, this one's mine, dime piece and shit, son shorty was fine, every line of mine was like a rhyme, I wouldn't lie, I swear, sparkling the whole time as I whispered in her ear. Definitely a dope joint. I gotta see the video for this. I don't remember a video for this at all.
Yeah, the video is pretty okay and stuff like that for the most part.
True.
But yeah, what was I saying? What was I saying?
Track 13.
Track 13. Oh yeah, Christian. I was gonna say something else about the light
Oh,
actually,
okay.
but it's crazy too because that song kind of reminds me low key because ironically that common song, The Light, it kind of reminds me of that.
Mm-hmm.
And ironically, both those came out around the same time
Right.
and shit like that. Um, but yeah, with the next track, we got Godsend, which is obviously an organized confusion joint. Love this track right here.
Mhm.
This is like vintage organized confusion that it definitely like could easily has a feel of the stress feel
Right.
mixed with like Equinox feel to it and stuff like that. I definitely love this fucking song because for one, you really heard more Prince Poe. You really heard more Prince Poe on this one right here, which Poe pretty much did his thing. Like, yeah, Pharaoh did his thing, but in my opinion, I feel like this song definitely belonged to Prince poetry, especially when he said the line, "Give the drummer some pianos, guitar, basses, trumpet in tune." Pharaoh and Prince, legitimate reason for why they thumping. Um, very, very solid joint right there. Definitely highly recommended.
Yeah, definitely a nice beat. The hi hats is dope. It had like a haunting, yeah, like haunting chants on the track. Baseline was
Right.
dope. Pharoah saying, we got odds with ourselves. What is it worth than this? Barren metropolis prevails. Scale of walk the walls of hell. Trail of an octopus. I thought it was a dope song. Nice, collab. I like the fact that even though he went solo, he still brought his man along. Be like, yo, we still a group, even though I'm going doing my solo thing, and he got Prince Paul in the album. That was good.
Right. I definitely it's just like remember your roots and shit like that, you know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
Next track we got is The Truth featuring Common and Talib Kweli. Um, this is another joint that's pretty fire and stuff like that. Just what I got from The Truth is just them educating the youth, them pretty much doing what they gotta do just to survive and stuff. While um, just it's like you just have like everything like lining up and stuff like that. And
Right,
so when it comes to like the truth, I guess what they were trying to say is like just breaking stuff down. This is like a
mhm,
perfect song for Common at that time. Well, I feel
right.
like Common had like the best verse in my opinion. So yeah,
Yeah,
man.
Definitely. Common sounded like One Day It All Makes Sense Common on here. Like he had
Right.
that vintage flow from that album, and he said vendors of hate got me battling my own mind state at a divine rate. And then there's just a rhyme grade. See the truth in the thighs of a stripper, the eyes of my nigga. If it's only one, why should it differ? Fire your lines from Common. That's the Common I love. I want that Common back, not this Common that we got now. And I don't like this Common. The vintage Common from like you know Resurrection all the way up to like What for Chocolate. That's the Common I love. Even the B Common I'll take. I love that. That's the Common I love. There's definitely great balls in that. And Talib, another underrated MC. You got to put some respect on Talib stuff. I think he definitely killed it. And he said, the truth is, my crew is the smoothest bit of saliva juice is like the roots is. We move organic like acoustics. Fire, fire. We definitely got to put respect on Talib. This man is a legend to me. You know what I'm saying? Definitely a dope lyricist. I don't feel like he got any real classic albums solo wise, but definitely is a dope lyricist. I love the track. I like the nice orchestral background melody. Definitely a dope track.
Yeah, very dope track indeed. And after the truth, the last song is of course the Simon Says remix featuring Lady Luck, Redman, Method Man, Shabam
Shabam
Sadiq,
Sadiq. Yeah.
Shabam, yeah, excuse me, and Busta Rhymes.
Mhm.
Very solid remix, very dope posse cut. I definitely feel like Method Man, Redman has some very dope verses too. So this, yeah, yeah, this fucking remix is not that bad and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So me personally, I'd rather probably listen to OG version, but the
Right.
remix is not that bad.
Yeah, the remix was great, man. Like Redman was in his Doc's the Name 2000 flow on this. Like he
Oh
killed.
yeah.
He said, "I spit out a bullet, load the barrel up. I kamikaze your town off with arrow bus, carrot cut. Yeah, mommy, pull over. Been your pussy like for years. I knew yoga. What? What? Fire. That's the Redman I know, man. Like that, yo, crazy, crazy. Meth killed it. Shabam Sadiq, I used to listen to a lot of his underground stuff from like the 90s. He did like a dope joint called Arabian Nights. That was fire. He's underrated artist. Busta had his coming. He was in his the coming flow on this joint and he killed it. Lady Luck underrated. Definitely a great remix.
Mm. But yeah, that's definitely well said about the remix and stuff like that. Overall, this is a classic album in hip hop in my opinion. I definitely feel like there's not one bad song on this album. Pharaoh definitely showed us like, yeah, he doesn't need Prince Pro. He can just come and rip the mic, rip everything to shreds and stuff like that. Um, I'm gonna give this a 5 out of 5. I feel like it's definitely a five
Yeah.
out of five. This album's
Hmm.
reason why it's been out for years because, like I said, the Godzilla sample from Simon Says is, and they didn't feel like paying,
Right.
the original people for the sample and stuff like that. So that's why, you know, all of that happened and stuff like that. But overall, I definitely recommend this album, especially if you're a fan of East Coast hip hop and stuff.
Yeah, I never listened to the album till now, and I always used to hear people say it's a classic and this and that, and I could see why after listening to it once. I'm like every track on here was dope, great concepts for songs, like Rape and for Simon Says and for what's the other joint the light and
Yeah, like,
God what was the other joint? Godsend, and the production was great, and he had like dope features with Busta Rhymes and Cannabis and Common Quality. Great album. I love Simon Says remix and what the official joint and everything on here was fire. Definitely a 5 mic classic. So I need to get this album for sure. I slept on this album.
yeah, good luck finding this album. I mean, it's out of print and
Yeah,
shit. So
Right.
Um, yeah, man, that was Pharaoh Monches with Eternal Affairs. Must have in your collection. Um, with StreamYard being, what it is. I'm not gonna be too long on this pre-recorded, so I'm just gonna end it off right here. Um, very very dope review we did, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
Shout out to Sam for requesting us to review this album. So yeah,
Shout out
thank
to
y'all
Sam.
so much. Make sure y'all subscribe to this video, and I will see y'all later. Peace.
Yeah. Peace.